hit and go live. All right, I think we are. There we go. Now we are live. Hopefully everybody can hear us.
How do I know? I've never done
Oh.
this before through Zoom and then YouTube.
Yeah, it's. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of growing pains with trying to do like this kind of live stream through YouTube for me.
Okay.
Like I've gone through a couple where it'd be like 10 minutes of me like talking and not paying attention to the chat, and it's like we can't hear you.
Oh, I see. So I should
So
open up the chat. Like I can
uh,
see like participants.
yeah, you can see who's chatting and who's exactly. So
Okay, okay. So I guess what should we start first? Like these.
so I was wondering because I brought this up and you see my stuff's all downstairs except for a couple bottles I have up here behind me.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, I tend to abandon
1910?
the chat. I have 19. I haven't opened this one yet. I've been wanting to try it. But I
Okay, so I
also
have a
have.
single barrel.
I do have single barrel. I left it downstairs though.
Okay.
But I also have Dalmore 12 on hand, which I've almost killed. I got Hibiki, the Harmony. I also have behind me. I have Booker's 1 and 3, I think. Abalor Abunad. I'm probably
Oh,
butchering.
Abuna?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
have,
have Abuna.
and then I have the Nick Offerman Lagavulin.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ben Riach Smoky 12.
Okay, probably not like a peat. Well, Ben Riach is actually a Highland peat, so
It's
it
pretty
should be
sweet.
okay.
It's pretty fruity, yeah.
Um,
I see Weller. Yes, she has a much more extensive collection than I do.
oh, where can I see the chat?
So if you go to YouTube, you should
Oh,
see
I have
it.
to go to YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, there's a way for me to integrate it. I just don't know how to do that.
Oh, it's
So
not as seamless yet. Just
yeah,
kidding.
I suck at this still. I'm still learning.
That's
Um,
okay.
but it's you just go to YouTube and then you'll see when you go to the video you'll see the live chat and it'll people chatting
Oh,
there.
neat. Cool. All right.
So
Yeah. So, what should we start first?
I'll ladies choice.
Okay, so since I don't have that Old Forester 1910, I think we should start with the Scotch because it's a little easier.
Okay.
Like a Highland Scotch. You said you have.
Let's see. I have the Abunad. I have the Ben
That's like a
Riach.
cash strength. Yeah.
Yeah. Lagavulin, and I have the Dalmore 12,
Okay.
and that one's almost destroyed.
I actually don't have
I can go get something else.
the
I can be
download
right
tool.
back, and you can just be stuck with the live chat for a sec while I go run and grab the single barrel.
That's okay. We could do if you want to do a Highland, I could do a Highland with you, but it just won't be the same pour.
That's fine. Okay, let me know
Okay.
which one you want to do the. Okay, fair
I
enough.
am going
I'll do the
to.
Dalmore. We'll just kill this 12 then.
Yeah, you're gonna do the Dalmore. I think I'm going. I actually have a Glenrona 12
Ooh.
that I haven't opened, so I might open that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through this. I actually saw this at I saw the cigar malt of this, which I almost wanted to grab, but then I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
a really good one. That's
is,
a really, really good
huh.
one.
Now I feel
Yes.
bad for not grabbing it. Because it was like
Yes.
MSRP. It was actually I think it was even cheaper than MSRP. I think the MSRP for that is
Like
was it
100?
100 and
10?
some 100. Well, then it was in
I don't know.
Washington.
Seattle is a little bit different. Yeah,
Yeah,
Washington is a little bit different.
prices are. Ooh, that looks nice. So you actually have exponentially more knowledge on Scotch than I do. So
I don't know. I mean, I just like to drink.
well, that's my thing. I just enjoy whiskey. I think it's just a lot of fun to just. It's a thing that's fantastic to share with friends, and by
Yeah,
yourself.
son.
Oh.
It's the same color as your Dalmore. That's why I got this. Is
And they're
Glenmore
both
now.
12s. And they're both
Yeah,
12s. So there we go.
yeah, and I think Dalmore is also finished. I mean, like matured in like sherry.
I
That
believe it
one.
is.
Yeah, and this one is
Mhm.
matured in cherry as well, so should be pretty similar.
Which I'm actually been digging on the sherry finished. Oh, that was a good pop.
Yeah. This is 2019. So if you find like a Glenronach that's like an older bottle, like a 2018,
Hmm.
uh, the juice itself is older than the age statement.
Oh wow, that's good to
Yeah,
know.
so
I'll
the
keep an eye out.
18 and the 21, anything like before 2018, the juice is
Hmm.
like much older.
Much more worthwhile to definitively
Yes, it's
grab.
like yeah, like people seek for it.
Hmm.
They seek for it. So yeah, it's in a tube usually, by the way.
Oh, nice. You know, it's funny. So I stopped by. I actually don't have the like. So closest to me is a Bevmo, and the
Bevmo.
Bevmo, and it's like, but it's so bad. Like they've got decimated so bad that the collection is basically just Jack Daniels and some other random stuff. It's just like, so it's not even worth going in there half the time.
I
But
don't know. But I think Will got
Will.
a lot of stuff from Bevmo.
Yeah, he loves Bevmo, and he also does Will's like, man, that dude is a
Will is
hunter.
like a hunter.
Yeah, he gets the
Like his like
the
full-time
paint. And
job.
he does the yeah he does the he gets ready, he puts the paint on, he gets his gear. But yeah, like it's crazy. Like so yeah, I call him my whiskey dealer.
He's mine too. I think he's been getting like good stuff from me. I mean, like
Mhm.
for me. Yeah, for me.
You got the wild turkey one.
Yeah, you do too, right?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's right above me. I was just talking to Buddy about that. I've tasted it. I had because Will had one open when I picked it up.
Oh,
Speak of the
so I
devil.
was fighting to open it too, you know?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I have.
hey.
What's up, Will? The man, the myth, the legend, and I also have everyone else. Thanks for joining. But yeah, I do have the. So I tried it at his place, and I thought it was pretty good. But have you tried it yet? If you.
No, I was planning to wait until next to me. Yeah, it's still in a box
Yeah, mine's right above me.
because
Sorry.
oh, I can't, you don't like my setup. I need to like upgrade my setup.
It's fine. But yeah, it's
By the way,
interesting.
this Glenronach is really good
Eh,
for the price. It's $50 here
oh wow,
for 12.
that's really good.
Well, Washington's probably 60.
Probably like
But if you
120.
buy it on no, if you buy it from Europe,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a 700 milliliter bottle. But if you buy more than 3 bottles, the shipping actually
Not
makes
bad.
sense.
Yeah.
To buy like really nice Scotch
Well, I
because we
think
don't get it from here.
mine's like
Yeah,
getting
yours is much
reflections.
darker.
Yeah, and I'm getting
Look
reflections a
at
little bit, so that's probably why as well. But it
wow,
is
look at the
definitely.
difference.
Yeah, I could probably get
Yeah.
another light on there to make it show better. Actually, one sec, because I think it's also reflecting the. I have an orange light behind me, so I think that's not helping. But that was
Oh,
well, that's actually too bright. But yeah, well, it's pretty dark though. It is definitely a darker.
it's darker. Yeah, and it's both 12 years. Finish in sherry. Oloroso.
And so, yeah, like I said, I'm really been digging on the sherry finish stuff lately
Isn't it
across the
nice?
board. Yeah, and usually I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of like wine finished stuff because it's just too dry to me usually on average. But the sherry stuff has always been, and the Olorosos.
Yeah, Oloroso is good. How about port? Finish in port. Like, okay, there's also a difference for me. Scotch finished in port is very different than bourbon finished in
It's
port.
like sweet on sweet.
Like, and I think I was the one that was. I mentioned it to you that for me, bourbon finished in port, a lot of them are kind of missed for me, for my palate, because it tastes kind of like funky, kind of damp sometimes, and it's just not
Oh.
good.
Well, yeah, I think the thing that always gets me is the ones that have that I call it the funk or like it almost tastes like a mold
Yes.
you know what I'm talking about, like the barrel mold. It has almost like a, I know it's not that's what it is, but in my head that's the flavor I get, and that it's really earthy and has the, I don't know, whenever I taste that I'm always like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's usually for me when it's finished in port. Bourbon finished in port.
It's
Even
just,
rye finished in port is like sometimes a hit or miss.
which what's
So
the,
Midwinter's Nice Dram.
yeah, which I actually like that one for whatever reason, but it's
So
definitely,
last year, it's grown on me. The first time I opened it, oh my god! I bought 2 bottles, and I thought like, oh god, I'm having buyer's remorse here. I don't know why I bought 2 bottles. Maybe
what have I
because of the
done?
hype, obviously.
Yeah.
And then like I legit did not touch that bottle for another 5 weeks, and then I tried again, and it's like, oh, this is kind of funky. I don't get why people think this is good. And this was last year release, and then it took about 5 months for it to open up that it's like not funky anymore. It's like, oh, okay, now I get it. It tastes like pretty good. There's not like that nasty funk that I get.
Yeah, like, and that's what gets, yeah, like I've always associated it with more craft distilleries too as well. But usually it's the whenever they're aged in like a wine barrel, I pick it up the most though, for sure.
Ah, you like the Breckenridge rum cask? Remember
I
that?
do. That is pure deliciousness. Like that to me is just candy. Like it's so easy to drink, and it's just it. I don't know. It's just super sweet and tastes like candy to me. I don't know.
Have you tried like any barrel products like Armida, or Seagrass
I
or
well,
Dovetail?
I've had them, but I haven't, like, they're not enough to like speak on. If that makes, I've had like tastes of them, but not enough to like,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. So I think that's, so I'm limited in that because I've always seen them, but I just never bought them because to me they always seemed overpriced for what they were, I guess.
Overpriced?
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, I personally think barrel is their Armida, Dovetail, and Seagrass are good, but then their batch releases on like bourbon, it's a hit or miss because it's like each blend is different. So
Yeah.
that's,
What?
and sometimes you're like, oh shoot, do I really want to spend $90?
Don't
But then
flip that coin.
it's like with that, it's like, am I gonna like it? And maybe this batch is gonna be good, but if you like the Breckenridge rum cask finish whiskey, I think you would like Armida or
I'm gonna.
Seagrass or
Okay. I've been
Dovetail.
hearing a lot of seagrass. Like that seems to be the new, like that's like the one I've been hearing a lot of lately.
Well, it won the whiskey thingy, and
That makes
good
sense.
for them. Good for the people of like Barrel. I'm not hating on it. But their house profile is definitely fruity. So
Fruity. Okay. Uh, the Abunad, I butcher. I have the worst pronunciation. I get made fun of all
it's
the time.
okay.
So, but the Abunad, like that one, I was drinking. What was I drinking? Actually, I was drinking the Dalmore 12, and then I was drinking, of all things, the Harmony, Hibiki Harmony, which I was just being weird and having a good time. And then I randomly opened up the Abunad, and it hit me like a spice truck from out of nowhere. Like, it was so spicy compared to the other two. Like, it was still delicious, but it was just like such a, like a deviance from the other two, if that makes sense. What's your,
Yeah. I have Abuna. I just haven't really touched it for a long time because it's very sweet.
yeah, very sweet, yeah.
It's like super sweet, and I'm like, whoa, this is intense.
And that's what I was expecting because I was like, oh, these are all very sweet, variations of sweet with the Harmony and the Dalmore and stuff. And then I was like, oh, I'll do the Abunai because I remember, and I like it, because it's so sweet. And I was like, oh, it'll be a good end of night sweet nightcap kind of thing. And it just was like, bow. And I was like, oh my god, like I was not ready for how much different it was in that like spice category. Uh, so, but yeah. Anyhow, what if you could have, what's your favorite Scotch right now? Let's do that. We'll do your favorite
Mm.
Scotch and then go from there.
My favorite Scotch right now. I mean, oh god. So I've been actually reaching for uh probably this one.
I can tell.
Campbellton,
It looks very full.
Glen Scotia, Finish and rum cask. It's an
Ooh.
island, so, and it's from Campbellton. This one is like kind of limited release. Well, yeah, it's 2019, and it's peated. But to be easy, it's gonna be cracked like Kleinlich 14. This is a really good one.
Ooh. See, I want to start getting back. I started with Scotch. That's how I first started in the whiskeys, was Scotch, and then I switched to rye and bourbons, and now I'm starting to go back to Scotches again. So
Your palate will change, by the way, when you go back to Scotch.
I already noticed that. Like, I've already noticed it even from before. Like, I remember when I first was into Scotch, I loved like super peated stuff, and then now I'm digging on.
Okay.
But I still like it. But I've really been digging on the. I think it's because I'm starting to get through that peat and pick up the other flavors, like the fruits and the I don't know. Sometimes you get some. I'm trying to think of another one that has like a different flavor than fruit, like the caramels and what have you, and like the toffee and.
In bourbon? Mellocorn? Oh.
Mellocorn. I actually have. actually, I was joking with Rush, who's right here as well, and I actually have a little like glass. It's a glass. Like pour thing, and I just filled it with mellow corn because I was like, I don't know what else to do. So anytime I have something I don't like, I'm not sure what I think of this, I always put it in like random like decanters or like dispenser things, and just it turns into decoration around the house.
That's how I feel about, honestly, I'm not a fan of Evan Williams. Like right now, the BI bottled in bond that I just opened. I mean, it's okay. Like, it's $10. I'm like, yeah, if it's your budget, okay. Yeah, my budget is probably ancient H stars.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah. I have a JTS, the JTS Brown, and that one's too. I think that one is like a peanut butter. Have you had that one, the JTS Brown?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I always see. I'm like, oh, do I really want to? I want another bottle. Oh, okay.
but it's like, it's so cheap that I'm always like, I picked it up purely because someone told me you couldn't get it outside of Kentucky, and then now you can. Yeah, and so I grabbed it because it was like, oh, and then now I see it everywhere, and it's like $10 to $20. So it's like,
yeah, it's $10-$20. Wait, have you ever had Bruichladdich?
That looks really familiar. I have not had it, but
sorry. For any like drinker, like look at how much I'm already done with this. This is like a $60 bottle, like $59.99 to $64.99. It's 6 years, finished in oak cask, single. Like the barley comes from Islay, which is cool, right? And it's unpeated. It's really good from Islay though.
That'd be interesting. This one. I will. I think I've seen it at Total Wine, so maybe I'll have to go.
Yeah, they have a 2011, 2012.
Will just said, "Come over and I'll try it there."
Oh wait, he has one.
Apparently, he must. Okay. Will's a big Scotch guy too. Like he likes the Scotch as well.
I mean, I'm smelling it right now, and it smells really good.
Now I want to try. I'm pretty. Oh, see, that's the thing I've been picking up, like that, like in the Scotches, the Vilnas, the different parts of it. Twingwin asks, there's a couple questions. Not a drinker, but what is the best liquor to mix when you are stoned?
Tequila.
I was gonna say something to bite through that, I guess. I mean, because. But honestly, I think anything, honestly, man. Like, it depends on what you're going for. If you're going to a party, yeah, tequila would be a thing. If you want to mellow out and chill, like Scotch or bourbon, or, like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Like, I don't know. I could see a bunch of different ways going down that path. I think it's just booze in general is going to, however you want to go. I think of whiskey as more of like a mellow thing, but I know plenty of people that do not. Whiskey is woohoo. Send
Daniels.
It. Yeah, JD, little JD, and some ginger beer and some Coke, and send it. But it's funny. Like I remember I used to love Jack Daniels and Coke, and Jack Daniels and ginger ale or ginger beer. That used to be like my thing as a I'm gonna say kid, but as like a 21-year-old, like that was. I thought I was the coolest with that stuff.
So how did you get started with whiskey? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I was gonna ask you the same thing actually, but so I guess since you asked
You
first,
go first. Yes.
ladies choice. So um, I actually got into it with like Jack Daniels was like the thing, but then it wasn't until later when I had a buddy in the Coast Guard who was way into scotches, and then I had so I started there kind of. This was like probably, gosh, 15 years ago, and then I always liked them, so I started to kind of build up a collection. And then I had another, like I moved into an apartment or condo, and then my next door neighbor was like a big Scotch and tequila collector, and so I'd go over to his. He's like, "Oh, you have to come over and drink with me," and so I finally did one night, and I remember that night because we drank so much. Like tequila mixing tequila and Scotch. It was like horrible. Like,
Oh,
yeah. But the thing I remember the most though was Dalwhinnie. Dalwhinnie?
Dalmini, yeah.
Yeah. And so that was when I was like, and that was like my aha moment of like, this is it was delicious for me at that point in time. And that was kind of the path. But then and then after that, it was just I always liked it. I always liked the nuance. I always liked the and that's something I've always found in all my different hobbies that I like to get into is whenever that you can like pick something apart but still enjoy it without having to pick it apart. I always love that. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
How about
Okay.
you?
I guess I started with wine and got to the rabbit hole of wine, and I actually enjoy food a lot, so I think that's why.
Oh, yeah.
But truthfully, it's because of wine. I also really like to understand the agriculture, the viticulture of like wine. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I also love Jack Daniels. I actually like Gentleman's Jack.
Oh, I
Gentleman's
do too.
Jack is where it started for me. I was like, oh, Gentleman's Jack, double on the rocks. Oh, no, no, no. And then it progressed to like, Gentleman Jack's just neat.
Just neat.
Ice on the side.
Yes.
But yeah, Gentleman Jack started for me. And it's like a rabbit hole after that. It's like, ooh, I found different kind of palette. And then once it's kind of like you, it's like, oh, like there's a lot of like, I would say decent whiskeys out there, but as like an enthusiast, as a nerd, I pick for like those random ones that
Yeah.
taste very different. And you're like, oh, look at this like rum cast is like completely different than this one.
So like I was just joking with actually I think I was talking with Rush about it where like for me same thing like whenever I see something I've never had I will probably pick that up before I buy something I actually know I will like.
Yeah.
Just because I'd love to have that new flavor. But it's funny like so the Jack Daniels Gentleman Jack is like I agree 100%. I remember that was like after I drink Jack Daniels you try that and you're just like
Yeah,
as a
why
kid.
did I ever get anything else but Gentleman's Jack?
I remember that moment too. Like, going, whoa, this is amazing. Like, because at the time, you're like, I remember just everyone I hung out with was all just like, we're just drinking. So they didn't give a rat's ass what it was. It was all about just going sideways. But that's funny. And then I was gonna say, so actually, so there's no actually you would actually probably have tried this before I have because I haven't. I actually almost did, but there's. Twingwin asked, "Did you ever try Indian whiskey?"
Oh, okay.
He just received a bottle of Amrut single malt, and I have been seeing a lot of Indian whiskeys getting a lot of reviews, like really good reviews recently.
Yeah.
But I have never
Yeah.
tried any. I don't know. Have you tried any Indian?
I've tried Emerald Peated and Christmas edition.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was last year. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think just like a different category. They're growing their own thing, which is really neat to see. And like I think there's another one too called Paul John.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like hard because like in India they drink a lot of rum.
Really?
Yeah.
Rum?
Yeah.
Huh.
They drink a lot of what is it called? Old. It's like something like you tell like Indian they always have this bottle and it's like a rum.
Huh.
I mean it's good. They drink it with Coke, obviously rum and Coke. I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah. I'll
That
drink
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean it's like the French has it too now. French whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Like grain to like kind of like bread.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's interesting. I would like to try that. See, I like that experience. I'm all about the experiences of it, right? And like the new experiences. So that makes sense. I think it'd be fun. Maybe I'll have to keep an eye out for some of that stuff then.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's like a rabbit hole. If you go to Japanese whiskey, that's a
Oh, I love
rabbit hole.
Japanese whiskey. Yeah,
Oh, really?
I do.
Okay, we should like go to Harmony. I love uh Japanese whiskey. Like there, did you hear about the? Well, it's not really new anymore. The new like law, quote unquote new. Yeah, let me
Oh,
get it. Let me get mine.
for Japan, like that one, or
Yeah, yeah,
from?
yeah. Japan, from Japan. Like, because
Oh, so
before they
good.
didn't really have kind of like a TTD of Japan.
Yeah, I know you're talking
It
about
could literally be Scotch,
that.
and they bring it over and then bottled it in Japan and called it Japanese whiskey. There are a lot of that in the market right now,
Yeah.
until recently.
You know, it's funny because I used to love Japanese whiskey before I was even knew anything about it. I remember it just being so much cheaper, and then all of a sudden it like took off. And, like,
Yeah, it's like this was like maybe a $30 bottle,
yeah,
and now
yes,
it's like a $75, and I'm like, what the heck?
yeah, no
I mean,
joke.
it's in a pretty bottle.
It is. I mean, this has got to be one of the best bottles. Like, and then the topper, like, it's just, it is, it's nice. Yeah. But this, to me, is like the smoothest whiskey. Like, it's just, it's.
Really?
I find it dangerously smooth to me, to my palate. Like, where
Like
I will,
water?
yeah, like I could easily see myself killing a bottle of this pretty easily if I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay.
But it's
So I,
some. Go ahead.
so have you been to Japan?
No, I was supposed to go. We were literally going to go, and then COVID hit. We had plans to go. We were going to be there for like a couple weeks, and then, and then COVID hit. So I've been
Oh
wanting to go
no.
forever. It's yeah, I've been wanting to go forever, and yeah. So hopefully soon. Hopefully now that everything's starting to quiet down, we'll get to go. So
Well, hopefully, yeah. I'm really hoping Japan is probably my favorite country to go.
I believe, man, the food. I could like that's my problem. I'd probably
Oh
just like
God.
die. I'd just be walking around with this just giant pot belly of wood. I need more food. I need more food.
Oh my God. Like I love like so my last meal on earth
hmm
will be wagyu beef, like
Ooh.
wagyu steak A5 with
hmm
rice, sashimi, and sake and whiskey, and I could
Ooh.
be dead afterward, and I'll be
Yes,
okay.
I'm with you. I'm with
I'll be okay after that.
you.
I'm
You know,
like, okay, I'm done.
yeah. Oh. It, one of yeah, and actually one of my actual other big weaknesses. I love ramen, like proper, like real proper ramen, but is Japanese curry. Like I go nuts for Japanese curry. I don't know what it is about it, but I
Oh,
love Japanese curry.
coco curry.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go there when you go to Japan.
I
But
love.
Seattle has amazing Japanese like food, though. I feel like.
Yeah, they have pretty good stuff. Yeah, like there's some good stuff. So I every once in a while like I'll go and I'll try and pick up stuff, but it just doesn't. Like in Hawaii, I felt like it was a little bit better for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, my friend, we can't really compare that to Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. So Hawaii is like my spirit animal of places. Uh,
It's really close to like
mhm.
to you guys, so
Yeah,
yeah,
we usually go every year, but then obviously COVID, so we haven't.
yeah, yeah.
But we're going actually
And
soon. We're
this,
going to go soon, actually, real soon. So we actually have the schedule and everything, so we're going.
oh, fun. Is that your next big trip? Do you guys usually take like one big trip? How many big trips do you guys take?
Depends, but usually we definitely whenever it's normal, it's usually Hawaii every year, and then usually 2 to 3 other
Okay,
places throughout the year.
okay.
And we do a lot of
Like out of the country or
depends.
like
Usually
in?
it'll be like within the country, but yeah, but we'll go to Canada every once in a while, but we like to do these things we call them the staycations, and we'll go to like parts of, we'll go to like 100 miles away, or we'll go a couple states over and just stay in a hotel, or we'll even stay in our local area and just go and get hotels. And
Washington is nice though.
Yeah, there's a lot to see. So
Washington is nice, yeah.
See, like,
this is super dangerous. I pick up pineapple. Do you pick up pineapple?
It's funny. I do. Like right on the back, like not quite the back of the tongue, but like
I'm like, wait, why do I get pineapple?
Yeah, I am actually. There's a little bit. There's like that hint of like a nice little hint of like almost, I want to say like pineapple. Like you ever had like the watermelon water? That's what it kind of reminds me of. Like if you were to put pineapple instead of watermelon, but like with pineapple. Like like where it's so like
weird. It's so weird. I've never picked up pineapple.
I haven't
in a whiskey.
I wonder if it's
until today. I'm like,
I wonder if it's because of the Scotch from earlier, like the way that paired. Because this is tasting different than I recall even from the other day drinking it.
Same.
But I'm getting like a strong, like a different, like a profile coming at me. Still smooth. It's so dangerous,
spice, right?
Yeah.
There's like a lot more oak in it.
Yeah. It has a different upfront kick too than I remember it being.
I mean, it's good. I'm already like.
I know, it's so dangerous. I know. I killed the Dalmore already, so that's gone. But so back to the whiskey discussion a little bit more. Let's do what's your current favorite bourbon?
Oh, current favorite bourbon. Oh God, that's a tough one. I mean, I love Four Roses.
Mm-hmm. That's good. It's a good one.
Honestly, let's just okay. So, what brand or what bourbon that has oh wow, this bourbon is so good, and it was I didn't expect it at all that it was gonna be perking my ears or perking my skin for it. It's this bourbon, and I've said it before. It's the Old Fourth Distillery, and it's from Atlanta.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's a bottled in bond, straight bourbon. I did not expect I would like it. I was actually very.
That's the best when that happens. When you
I
get something that's
what?
Agreed. I love when that happens.
What's going on? This was really good. Bottled in bond, so it's at least 4 years.
Which is nice. Well, anytime you get bottled in bond, I always feel like you're going to elevate. It should be elevated a little bit, right? To some level.
Well,
not always, but
a TTB
mm-hmm.
law, But at least in the word single barrel, small batch, it doesn't have a meaning.
No.
It's just marketing. I'm sounding bullshit.
Well, I mean, Mark, that's what it. I mean, that's what they're there to do. They're trying to get that catch, right? You gotta catch them with it, get people interested, right? Not in the catch in a bad way, but just keep people interested.
Barrel strength, that doesn't mean anything. They could still lower it down.
Mm-hmm. Just a matter of bringing the proof down, right?
Yeah, and technically, now the entry proof into the barrel, a lot of whiskeys are higher than before. So that would create a lot hotter with bourbon profile. But things the Wild Turkey 17 or Wild Turkey 17 DIB, things that are a little bit older, their entry proof is what matters, truthfully, because things that are quote unquote hot doesn't mean it's good for your palate. And it could also be a play on the entry proof. If the entry proof is already high, usually it goes down a little bit and then goes up because it's in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But if the entry proof is lower, then it will create a lot more concentrated profile, and that's the fun part.
And
that's when you get a lot of concentrated either leather, oak, spice from the barrel, or the fruits. It's that entry barrel, the entry proof. That is very important as well.
So Oh, that leads me into another question I was thinking of here. And so, what are your thoughts on like so the because I was drinking a lot of hot whiskeys recently, and like I literally like my palate got so like I actually felt like my mouth was burned, if that makes sense, for like a couple days where I was just like, but where do you think like would be a good balance of picking apart a whiskey, like if you wanted to really dive in to get all the different like flavor profiles, and what do you think is a good proof for that?
I think 105 to 110.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. I think anything
Yeah.
lower than that is just pure candy to me, usually.
Yeah, then if it's too hot, I mean, if it's too lower down, you can't really put any more water into it, truthfully.
Yeah.
I need to be better at that because I used to do it like dropping like a couple drops of water. I mean, that's what people in Scotch do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I should have done that in like
But
bourbon too. But like as a bourbon purist, you're not supposed to like put any water. But sometimes that just burns. Like it's like the Kentucky hug. I call it the Kentucky punch, where like slap sometimes you don't even know.
I was joking with another buddy of mine where we were talking about like he's like that first initial sip of a hot whiskey, it's like your body's like insta reject it, and you're like your body's like it's poison. What have you done? And then it's then once you get past that, it's like, oh okay, we can drink this now. We can.
Yeah, and like I see it in like my family and friends who are not us like, drink whiskey regularly as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Those like they can't drink 110 above because like anything past that is like, what the hell, are you trying to kill me? Like I love Four Roses barrel strength, but like my family, they don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like it. They're like, how could you drink this? I'm like, okay, then I'll just give you something else. Like, why are you?
Right. It's yeah, I know exactly what, like it's so crazy. Like, luckily my he's big into it. So this is another problem
nice.
so he'll come over and he likes whiskey, but he's more of just he'll just destroy my whiskey collection though, cuz just drink. He can put them down. So yeah, so I always have to hide my good stuff. Whatever.
So I'm usually like pretty open with like because I love, as you said, this like it's all about the experience.
Social.
It's about sharing, social. Like I prefer actually drinking with someone rather than like drinking, by myself. I mean, sometimes it's nice too, but it's nicer when I could talk to them. It's like, oh, you know that this whiskey comes from blah blah blah. Of course, the other person probably does not care as much as I do, but at least they hear it.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of smiling and nodding. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It's like, oh wow, that is so cool. Yeah. Okay. All they care about is like, give me the damn alcohol, and I'm like, okay, but this is like really hard to get, and like, blah blah blah. This one is like bottled in bond. You know that about no one cares.
No one cares.
Just give me the damn alcohol.
Give me the guy. Does it taste good? Okay, cool.
And sometimes like you give them like allocate like like things that are like really hard to get, and they're like, ugh, what is this? I'm like, oh, you don't like it? Okay, more from me. I'll give you the crappy shit.
No joke. Like I know. Yes, that one hits home. Where you're like, like you get them like the super rare, like delicious, like amazing thing, and they're like, they take a sip and they're like, ugh. Or like, why would you give this to me? Do you have any Coke for that?
Exactly. Or for me, it's like the Blanton. Like how everyone loves Blantons. Blantons is the shit. I have a bottle like Blantons up there, and they're all ancient age 8 stars. I was like, oh, you want to try a Blanton? Let me give it to you. And it's a $15 whiskey in there in a nice decanter. And can you tell the difference? You probably cannot, but it's good, right?
It's good though. It's good, man. Yes. So Will actually, I've had Blanton's a couple times, and I've always been like, but it was always back when it was like $30-$40 a bottle, and now it's like impossible to find.
7 years ago. Now it's like $70 if you can find it.
If you can find it. And if you can find it, usually it's secondary market prices, and it's like $200, and you're like, that's not $200. But yeah, it's ridiculous. But I was gonna say, so Will had one that was really good. And I can't remember, it was like a single barrel version of it. And I was actually like, okay, that's actually pretty tasty. But I can't remember.
Straight from the barrel?
Yeah, I think it was a straight from the barrel one. It was like a special little
Okay,
bottle
yeah,
of it.
that one is a good one.
Yeah, it was.
That one is what Blanton's supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's what I was like, wait, this is Blanton's? Like, this is delicious. Like, it was like, when you say bourbon, that was bourbon. You know what I mean? Like, it was, yeah, straight from the barrel. Yeah, that's, yep.
Of course, we all know.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that was like one of my favorites from that night drinking. And so,
okay.
But yeah, that was a good one. I really like that one. But yeah, but on average though, like it's crazy how people can just not. Yeah, I don't know. This is the nature of this hobby, I guess.
It is the nature of this hobby. I mean, we could all say, we chase those bottles, we chase those unicorns, but truthfully, it's those bottles that you didn't think much of it, and then you tried it. I'm like, what? So for me, was that Old Fourth Distillery bottling bond. What about for you? Like recently, that just like kind of like, oh, what the hell?
So it's a blend on top of that, the one for me, and it's not even like a proper bourbon, or it's like it's the Lost Monarch.
Oh, is that the Redwood Empire?
Redwood Empire Lost Monarch, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's only like $35. I think it actually went up in price actually recently, but like it was just so tasty. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't like blow your brain out like fantastic or anything like that, but it was just for the price and for the flavor profile and how easy it was. Like, it was just I was just really enjoying that one. Which funny, I don't
California.
Like. Yeah, they're in the wine central there, actually near where I grew up. But the bourbon though, not my favorite from them. The rye's okay, but honestly my favorite is the Lost Monarch, which is like I said, it's not like a proper bourbon, or it's like a blend. It's like a mix of, I think it's a mix of ryes and bourbons, but. Anyhow.
Oh, so it's like a bull rye from High West?
Yes, actually, that's another one I wanted to ask you about before I start going into another thing. But yeah, so my current like kind of like shocker one was the Lost Monarch, and which is crazy because it's not like a proper whiskey. But what are your thoughts on? I think you even just got a bottle recently. So not their campfire, but their peated bourbon.
So I've never tried it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I actually don't like the campfire.
Yeah, campfire is like
it's like dirty smoke. It's like, oh god, this is disgusting. Like, it's not good for me. Like, I like it's just so one-dimensional for me, the campfire, that I'm like, this is why bourbon drinkers hate peated Scotch, because they think it's like a dirty ass smoke, and I'm like, it's not, man. There's like Highland peats, like their island peat.
Yeah.
Even in Isla is very different from like Ardbeg profile to like.
Ardbeg is like.
Yeah, and there's like umami in Ardbeg, which is insane. Like, I mean, you know what I like to do is like, if people say, oh, I hate peated, I will give them a blind, like a progression to like a light peat to like heavy peat, and they'll be like, oh, okay, wow, this is really good. Wow, I can't believe I like peat. I'm like, yeah, because like you've been drinking the wrong stuff. Yeah, you cannot, like, unless your palate is really prefer peat, but usually most palates need that gradual peat to that, like, you know, like crazy ppm. But usually you could start with like a Highland peat, and that's okay. Like the Ben Riach, that smoke that you have. That's like a good like starter, you know.
That's I was gonna say that one's like a perfect start because it has just a hint of peat, but there's so much fruity flavor and like just Yeah. But then you go to like the Lagavulin, and that's like peat, like that. To me, that
it's like Peat Central. You can't go to like it's like Peat Central. You're just like, oh, I hate peat Scotch. What did you have? Oh, Lagavulin. Oh, you can't have that, mister. Or like, ma'am, because that's just like, you can't go from like 0 to 60. Like, no. Let me start you up.
But like now I can go back to it like a Lagavulin and be like, and I can pull the fruit out. I can pull, you know what I mean? And it becomes such a different experience, right? Like, and so like you're talking about before, like where you start to pull those different flavors. But when I drink Lagavulin, the thing that comes to mind is a memory. And that memory is going camping with friends and sitting around the campfire, roasting like meats and drinking and having a good time with friends around a campfire camping. That to me, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, where it evokes like that memory or yeah. And that to me is like the Lagavulin 16 specifically. The Nick Offerman is more of a more balance to me. Yes.
Oh, so the Nick Offerman one is finished in Guinness, right?
Guinness, yeah.
The stout, the Guinness stout, and it's 11 year.
Mm-hmm. 11 year, yeah. And it's more. The peat isn't as powerful to me. Like it's just a tad bit more. It's just more like balance. Like it's easier. Sorry, when I say balance, it's easier to pull the other notes from it rather than the peat instantly. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I actually never tried the Nick Offerman one.
I call it the Lagavulin no.
Or like I would call it the Ron
Swanson. Yeah, I almost said Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, I was like, what did I say? Wait, Ron. I was talking about Ron Burgundy. It's like, no. Ron Swanson.
Scotch.
But that's like really cool. Like how the Parks and Recs and you could get that too. But yeah, the Nick Offerman one. But then if you like, have you ever tried Port Ascake?
No.
Port Ascake.
Ascake.
They're like I don't know. I probably butchered it. It's kind of like an art deck. It's like really good if you're into like peat. It's a different profile though. They're from Isla too. It's like a newer. They're kind of like a source, but it's really good.
You do a fantastic job of making the cork pop. I can't get them to pop to save my life.
Isn't it nice? Like the.
Wait, there. I kind of got one.
There you go.
Like. Sorry.
1910.
Yeah, I was trying it. This is the first time I've actually had 1910. Tastes like a toffee. It's very mild, easy to drink toffee.
I love Old Forester profile. Like
100%.
It's like there's like that fruity pebbles that I like from an Old Forester. Exactly. It's like something sweet, but it's like kind of what's the word that I'm looking? It's like candy.
Mm-hmm.
To me.
Well, they're just candy, yeah. And then the 1910 is low. It's only 93 proof.
Oh wow.
But this
it have
tastes
the spice as well?
It does. It has a little bit of that spice kick. It's almost, you know what it reminds me of? A watered down single barrel.
A watered down single barrel. Okay, so I have the Statesman.
Mm-hmm.
I actually never tried it.
Oh, I never tried that. I almost picked one up the other day too, and I was like,
It's 95 proof. And I also have like the single barrel 90 proof. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to crack those bad boys open.
I have a problem of like actually not finishing up my bottle. How many bottles do you have?
I think I'm at about 100 right now. Well, I gave Will my balcones collection, so I'm probably pushing.
Is it balcones or balcones?
Balcones.
Balcones first.
I change it. I change it every time I say it, so I don't know.
I have no idea.
Ooh.
Older bottlings of the single barrel.
Wow.
Now it's like 100 proof, right?
Yeah.
And single
That's
barrel.
Cool.
This used to be like maybe like when I say older bottling, this maybe like 3 years ago. And
That's crazy. They changed it, yeah. Well, they just did it recently, even, right? They just changed they kept the bottle, but they changed the label recently.
Yes,
so they have the new
labels. They
labels.
made it to like 100 proof.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is only 90 proof. It's okay.
Yeah, so this one is like it has that cherry. I call it cherry cola, like that cherry cola that Old Forester has sometimes. To me, it's like a cherry cola, but this one without
cherry cola is Stag Junior.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Stag Junior is definitely
cherry cola. That is Stag Junior. When you said cherry cola, no, that is Stag Junior, my friend.
Yeah, Stag Junior is definitely cherry cola. And so usually when I say cola, to me that's that sparkle on your tongue from the heat. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you drink a Coke and it has that Coke's like sparkle.
Okay, so I'm from Atlanta. Coca-Cola is my blood.
I used to collect Coca-Cola as a kid, by the way. Like Coca-Cola, like
What?
memorabilia. Yeah, as no joke. Like I don't know why or what or whatever reason, but as a kid I would collect Coca-Cola memorabilia. I don't know. It was like a weird thing that I did as a kid. It was like one of my weird things. I don't know.
All these hobbies, you know.
Yeah, that was one of them. Was collecting Coca-Cola like products. I had like playing cards and like random like things, and it was funny because one of the people I grew up, my dad had really close friends, and they had a room like they didn't have kids, so they were all about, well, did have kids, so they were out of they're in college though, and I remember going to their house after school before my dad got off work to pick me up, and they had I remember because they had a computer room that had MechWarrior. The dad liked to play MechWarrior, and they were just super cool people. And I remember playing MechWarrior there. But the wife would collect Disney memorabilia, and then also Coca-Cola. And in the room that they had the PC that played MechWarrior was the Coca-Cola room. And I think that might have been part of my reasoning behind collecting it, because I thought it was the coolest room in the world. And they had like all the like a full, like a memorabilia room, like it was like that, but it was like all Coke. And I remember just being like, this is the coolest room in the world. I was like 6, 7 years old, like, oh.
Have you been to like the Coke Museum in Atlanta?
No, see, I've only been through Atlanta a couple times, and we've never really stopped and like properly explored, and I want to, because I loved it there.
In Atlanta. What?
What? The food, the barbecue,
I mean, I don't know. I'm from here, so I can't. I mean, the Southern hospitality, I guess, it's not really anymore, though. Like, Atlanta has changed, so.
Everywhere has, though. I mean, even like Seattle. Like I remember driving through Seattle, and it's like it's just not the same. It's like I just don't. I'd rather just drive up to Kirkland or go up to go up north a little bit further. Go to Bellingham. I love Bellingham still, but yeah,
I've never
Seattle
been to Bellingham. I've heard, yeah.
Bellingham's amazing. Bellingham's lovely.
So I've been telling Will that I'm actually gonna go to probably Seattle in springtime, like May. Is May spring? But May to June.
Oh, nice.
Maybe, yeah.
He knows all the good food spots. That dude, not only is he a whiskey hunter, he is a food hunter. And every time he posts food, I'm like, God, Will, like, where did this come from? Like, you tell me so I can go. Like,
I used to live in Seattle, right?
You say like Green Lake area, right? Like the Green Lake area?
Yeah, I used to live there.
Oh, you would not like Green Lake now. I'm going to tell you right now.
That's what Will told me. And I'm like,
you would hate
I
it.
actually went, it's like, it's so different. And then I used to also live in Capitol Hill. And he's like, it's completely different after like the whole like Occupy thing. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm just going to go and see if my gaming like place still there.
Oh man, I used to have a place. I used to live in West Seattle, and like there was this place. It was like a total dive bar, but they had all these arcades from like back in the day, and it was but it's total dive, but it was all the old school, and it was all free. So you just go in, buy food and beer, whiskey or whatever, and just play video games. It was like being in a what would be like a cool arcade as a kid, like not Chuck E. I guess Chuck E. Cheese or like a like not Chuck E. But like, remember those like the mini golf like places? Yeah. They had like the huge arcade. It was like that, but like as an adult getting drunk and playing like the NASCAR game. That was the NASCAR game that you sat in the seat and it would like move.
Oh yeah, and it's like you could like play against your friends.
Yeah, it's like 4 of them.
Oh, those are Daytona. I think those
Daytona.
Are Daytona.
Yeah,
yes,
Daytona.
Daytona. Yes. Oh man, you would love Japan, Tyler. Like crazy, because like they have like in Tokyo they have like, or anywhere in Japan they have like arcades, and like it's okay for adults to play arcades there, and they're like people like without even drinking, and I'm like, oh okay, all right,
yes,
let me go. Even though it's like speaking to me in Japanese, I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay?
I get it now. So funny enough, in Redmond, and I think you'll get a kick out of this because I know that you love this. there is a spot in Redmond. Redmond Town Center. Do you ever remember that at all? Like the Redmond Town Center area, kind of maybe.
It's very small. Yeah.
It's very small. Now it's big. It's become a thing. But like there is a whole dedicated F1 racing sim arcade.
Wow.
Yeah. Like full on the simulation,
Really?
like the seats, the full big screens, and they have like the moving like chairs that have the hydraulics, and there's like 10 of them in this big room, and like you can look through the glass and you see people in there like driving the F1. It's all F1 simulation, like it's, yeah. So for everyone watching that doesn't know, I'll just ask, what is your favorite sport?
Oh my God, that's hard for me because I love football a lot.
Oh, football. Okay, so that's right, you do. But if you could have one, if you had to choose between F1 and football.
Oh, that's too hard. I can't do that. That's hard because I grew up with football.
It's fair. It's fair.
But F1, I mean, I love cars.
Yeah.
I have very expensive hobbies, which is cars. Like fast cars, especially just hearing the sound, it's like something else. It's like drinking a good whiskey. And whiskey, thank God I'm not into cigars. I mean, I like to smoke cigars. But my goal is that's why I'm going to Japan, to go to Suzuka.
Ooh.
I'm planning to go to Suzuka this year.
That's cool. So that's really cool. That's really cool. That'd be fun. See, like stuff like that's what I want to do. Like I want to do those types of things. Like and go experience that, and then go be able to eat like my favorite food in the world, and
yes,
like
yeah.
just
yes,
heaven.
And you could go to Yamazaki Distillery, which is like an hour away from the circuits. That's what I'm gonna. I'm already like pretty much okay. And just like if you ever go to you're gonna go to Japan, so go to the pawn shops. They sell whiskeys
at the pawn shops. Really?
And
I bet it's
like
good deals too.
Yes, and sometimes you get like random bourbon, like old ass bourbon, and you're like, what? For $20? Okay, I'll get it. Or like $50? Okay, yeah, I'll get it. So I'm already planning. I already told my boyfriends, like, I'm gonna bring an empty suitcase because I'm gonna go to pawn shops. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
For real.
And we're gonna go to the Grand Prix. Go to Kobe, eat steak, and then go to Akihabara and just play games. And then
just
go to pawn shops. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes, you're speaking my language.
That's what we're gonna do. Okay.
So, Twigwin actually just says Germany, not too bad. Autobahn. I think you're a big fan of BMW, right? Like that's.
I'm a huge fan of like German engineering, my friend. Like German engineering is like, okay, yeah, oh wow,
I'm down.
So like Germany is the fatherland of like mechanical engineering, which I am. So not by profession, but
by love.
Yeah, I would love to go to Germany, go to the Porsche like factory and like the museum, do all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh man. So like so Porsche is. I've loved Porsche since being a little kid. And my favorite Porsche of all time is the bathtub Porsche, the 1955, 56 Sportster. It was like one of my all-time favorite Porsches. Yes.
Wow. Why the 50s and the 60s?
Just that look, the body, the way just the look of it. Like I just love the look of that bathtub. They call it, because the reason they call it why? Because like they look like an upside down bathtub, like a claw bathtub. You talk about, but like that 19. So this James Dean died in a Sportster. That was like that was the Porsche he died in. It was a like a six.
So
I think his was
Dean?
like. I like James Dean. He's good. 959 crew. There you go. Ace nuff. But yeah, like the 959s, like those. Yeah, it's just but just Porsche in general. Like my other my current favorite car, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but is not the 911, is not like the higher end Porsches. I love the Cayman. Like, I love the new Caymans.
Oh, I mean, it's better than you said. I was gonna say, don't say the Boxster.
Oh God, no, not the Boxster.
How about the Targas? You don't like the
Oh,
Targas?
the Targas are badass. Yes,
Oh,
the Targas
God.
are
Every
amazing.
time I see a Targas, I'm like, oh God, that is so sexy.
Yes,
I'm
that
like,
is.
that hard top. I'm like,
Yes, I will
like
agree.
so
Yeah.
I'm like really into like Porsche. I don't own one, but you know, like I would love one, like a 911.
I would. I mean, I wouldn't say no to any of those. I'm 100%.
Okay, I will say no to a Macan. I'm actually going to say no to a Macan.
Yeah, Macan probably not. Yeah.
A Boxster.
Boxster, I'd probably say
and a
no to.
Panamera.
But see, like that. Yeah, but if you're buying a Porsche, like, why would you get anything other than a Cayman or a, you know, like a 911?
Because you want to drive a Porsche, and that's fair. You can afford to.
But
or
see, like,
the supply, you know.
Supply, yeah, that's fair. But like the 911, like the Cayman though, to me, like I love everyone always talks about in the drivability, like that. Like I love that, like the how good it handles, and they're always, it's not as fast, but as you know, because you can't have a Cayman beat a 911. That'd be sacrilege. But
Someone just asked Chevy Vega or Ford Pinto. I already know what I'm gonna say.
Oh, I'd say Ford Pinto just because to do it.
Really?
If I'm gonna do it,
Vega.
if I'm gonna go that route, I'm going Pinto bean all the way.
Whoa! I just saw a chat that says my favorite Porsche is the Volkswagen Beetle. Huh?
That's right. That's Rush. That'll do it. He'll do that to you. He'll do that to you. Rush goes to Japan all the time. He used to. He's a big.
Fun.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. He likes to. He's. I love Rush, but he is one of those guys that's. He can get your goat pretty easy if you're not careful.
Let's do it, Rush. I'll do it.
But so the Dub, speaking of another German fantastic car, but the Audis R8, that's the one.
So
Which thoughts?
I have a love and hate relationship with an Audi. Truthfully, I think the Audi back in 2008 they revolutionized their like platform, but then now they just look like shit. Like they need to do something with it. Like, oh my God, they need to change the platform.
Yeah, they do. They need to up. They need a new thing. I agree.
Right? Because
I used to drive a A4.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I used to drive an A4 from
I
like.
love it.
I loved it. I loved it, the car, but it's literally not changed since I had one, which was like I think I had like a 2006.
Exactly. It's exactly the same. But don't do it the BMW route, because the BMW, the front grill.
Have you seen the new one with the crazy like oval
God,
like
the beaver? I call it the beaver or the catfish. I've heard the catfish, beaver, and like so I have a 330i that I've mod. Like I think I've shared it to you.
I've seen it. It's a nice looking car. It's a nice one.
But like ever since they changed it to the new one, I'm like, oh God, do I really like? I'm not gonna ever buy a BMW if the front grille looks like a freaking beaver every time I look at it. Even though like the rear looks good with you know the M series, like it's just not good. So I really hope hopefully Audis will be better, truthfully, because right now they just look like a 50-year-old old man's car. Like the RS4, RS6. So I'm like, man, it looks exactly the same.
You know, it's sad when you're like, I'd take a Volvo, like a nice sporty Volvo.
Oh no, but Volvo is it's like Tata now.
No, that's
Volvo
true.
owns Tata.
Yeah.
How about the Z06? Oh,
yes.
I am so okay. If I have 90,000, okay. So I've actually had this conversation because I got into an argument and said, oh, but 0 to 60 in a Tesla Model S Plaid you could get it from like 2.6. But I'm like, you want a thick car or like a naturally aspirated like? like beautiful sound. It doesn't matter. It goes like, and it doesn't matter that it
Sounds
takes
amazing.
fuel. Okay,
Yeah.
but it sounds like if you roll in a Model S plant like Tesla, and you roll in a Corvette Z06,
So
which one are you gonna get like looks from? The Corvette.
the
not the
Corvette, the
Tesla,
Corvette
okay?
is so. It's a funny story. So I literally we just got a Tesla, by the way. Yeah,
Which
and it's
one? I'm sorry. Did I?
no, you did it. You did it. You did it. You did, not even remotely.
I do have a strong feeling about
No.
electric cars.
So this is so the it so I'm gonna so we're on the lot. It was and they had a Z06, and they had a Cayman, and I was like, can we just get this instead? Either of these, they're cheaper. They were actually cheaper than the Tesla we got. First off, hilarious. So, but the Z06, I was like, can we test drive this? I want to drive the Z06 and the Cayman. But it was like a 2-seater. We have a kid, so it was like, you can't. But so the reason we got the Tesla is because, one, gas. Like, it's just for just daily going around everywhere. It just made more sense. But we got the Tesla Y Performance.
Oh, you got the Y. Okay.
With the it's a the little mini SUV, XUV thingy.
What's the 0 to 60?
3.5. 3.5.
3.5. Yeah.
It drives like a go-kart. I'm not gonna lie to you, it drives like a go-kart. Like, it's no joke. Like, if you've been in a go-kart, it's the same. It's like exactly the same. Like, it's the same. Like, you hit the gas, it just boop, and then but there's not like. It's a fun car to drive, but it's not the same. Like, like there's like. Yeah. I come from, like, my favorite car outside of like Porsche is a WRX, and so. And I've had multiple WRXs growing up, and I love them. But that, like, what I'm talking about. Because, like, you have a BMW, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's that feeling of having a car that just it's hard. But yeah, it's not the same. But yeah, I don't know. But it's fun. It's fun to hit the gas and have it go like 0 to 60 in 3.5. Like, it's such a bizarre feeling. Like, to go. Like, there's just instantaneous torque and power. Like, but it doesn't drive very great. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is.
Really? Like, I've seen like those like YouTube videos like of like just Tesla like S with like another like a Porsche 911. I just saw like a GT3 RS with a like Model S plan. I'm like, really? Like, why are you like showing me this? Because I don't want to see it.
Yeah. So I will.
Fun.
It's fun. It's like in a straight line. They're fun, but anything outside of that, it's.
But is it fun though to drive in a straight line, or is it fun to take turns?
See, I like turns. That's why I like the Cayman and why I like WRXs. This is fun in a straight line. This is like purely in a straight, like, where you hit the gas, you don't turn the wheel, you just and it's very fast, and you get that throw in the back of this,
Okay. I mean, have you ever seen have you seen the Hummer Electric?
Ooh, yeah.
They're coming out with it. It's insane. That thing is like 3 tons or something, and like they could go from 0 to 60 in like 2.9 seconds. And I'm like really close. I'm like, oh god, oh wow. When I could I would like to buy that, but like obviously you gotta get waitlisted to get the Hummer Electric. But it's insane to think like almost close to like a 3-ton vehicle. You could go to 0 to 60 in like less than 3 seconds. In a freaking Hummer.
Or a Hummer.
Okay?
Yeah. And that's where it's crazy. Like, that's what makes electric cars crazy. That. Like, because even the Y, like our Y, it's heavy as hell. Like, it feels heavy. Like, I'm driving it, and it feels. Like, you can feel it in the steering wheel.
Really?
Like, this feels heavy. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it feels like a heavy car. And because it is. But it's just like, it reminds me of, like, what they talk about with, like, a Bentley, right? Like, that's what it reminds me of. Like, if you were to, like, remove the gas from a Bentley and make it just, like, it has that.
So it feels like a boat?
It's like a kind of like a boat, but not full.
Like a Cadillac?
Kind of like a Cadillac with just stupid power.
Oh, okay.
Like it doesn't have the best turning radius. It still performs really good. Like it has like it does turn decently. It turns better than like a proper cat. Like it doesn't have that floatiness. Like it has like the performance, but it still has that like not quite as like responsive. It's just not as responsive as you would like, as I would like, I guess. I don't know.
It's electric car.
Yeah.
It's like, electric
It's cheating.
is cheaper.
It's so cheating too.
Like electric is cheaper, but it still doesn't give you the experience.
Doesn't give you it. Yeah.
Of
just
driving,
that.
like pure driving. It's,
yes. I know exactly what you're talking
about. It's just hard to like. It's like whiskey.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell people who doesn't care about whiskey.
Tesla is
whiskey.
Tesla is Blanton's.
Oh no. So I really, really hope Tesla actually is doing a redesign of their car. It's been like that for a long time.
They have the new Plaid and the new S and the new ones. They have they have like the F1 style steering wheel now. Have you seen this?
Oh shit! Like yeah, I've seen it. It's like okay, so I'm in an arcade now.
Yeah, so it's like that. Well, speaking of, there's literally a game that it comes with. It's like a kart racing game that you use the steering wheel.
Yeah, you could play it on your dashboard thing, right? And I was like, wow, it's like a game.
It's called like karting something. Yeah, it's hilarious.
I think it's good for society,
It is.
like that, like sometimes we don't really want to drive, like you need like something easy.
And this is why we got this. It's because it's a commuting thing that we, I literally, it's my urban, like we call, so this, I'm going to call it this, the UAG, UAGG, right? Urban Assault Grocery Go-Getter. It does its job. It just plugs in. You just go. You don't have to worry about gas. You don't know where you just as long as you're plugged in or you've charged it, you can go wherever you need to go, and you do your errands, and it's just cheap, and it does its thing, and it looks nice. It drives fun. It's fun enough. It's not super fun, but it does what it needs to do. So that's my take on it. But it is, and I will say this: it is a lovely looking car. It's a fun looking little car. But yeah.
You have the Y.
This the Y.
One day.
Yeah. I still want though. Like my dream is to go back. I still would like to get a WRX or a Porsche or something. I still want to have that like fun car. But we'll see. One day. Only so much. Yeah,
yes,
Reese.
Exactly.
The GT3 RS, literal perfection. I can agree with that. Those are beautiful freaking cars.
Really? How about GT2 RS? Club Sport Edition. Just kidding.
Actually, this is going to probably put the Yellowbird. I would love to drive the Yellowbird. Just like the classic Yellowbird. Oh, so Rush asks, back to whiskey. Sorry, sorry. Back to whiskey. He asks, your feels about NAS Scotch.
Oh, non-age statement?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. Like, I actually like compass boxes. Compass boxes are known for like non-age statement. This one's the juvenile. Or the peat monster. I mean, I'm okay with that as long as it tastes good, right? I mean, those are fine. But as a purist, truthfully, it's always good to have age statement. But when you have a whiskey house that's like really good, like Compass Box is one, Chapter 11 or any of it, I mean, I'm okay with that. As long as it tastes good, right?
As long as it tastes good. I agree. I can agree with that.
If it tastes like crap and it's like super expensive, like Macallan, I'm not okay with that.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a burn there. I don't know what happened just then. That was good. Sorry, I'm laughing now. So that's a good point. Like, I think like all these hobbies, like hobbies we're into, that kind of thing, cars, as long as it's fun and enjoyable, or like for whiskey, like it tastes good, like that's all that matters at the end of the day. Like it's, as long as you're having fun, like you could be in the kiddie pool, splashing around in your freaking, floaties and having a blast, and who gives a rat's ass what anybody else thinks.
Exactly. it's like, okay, it doesn't matter if you drive a Tesla. Do you like? I usually like to understand why people like Tesla, and like I get it. That electric is cheaper. I mean, I would probably get an electric car if I need the, a
Hmm.
what is the acronym that you use? A grocery like
Oh,
car.
yeah, UAG, Urban Assault Grocery Go Getter.
Yeah, you like I would totally get an electric car. Why would I drive my GT3 in a freaking going to like Kroger or like whatever grocery store I gotta go? I'm not gonna get that dent like
Yeah.
scratched by like urban dads and moms that does not know how to drive when they were like picking up no no
Mm-mm.
no.
Right. Well, so my wife's boss, her old boss. So I was chatting with him. He actually randomly ran into at this restaurant, and I was with another buddy. And so he was a Porsche collector. He collected Porsches. Like he actually had a whole collection of
Wow.
Porsches. And I remember going into his office, and he was a Microsoft guy. So I remember going into his office at Microsoft, and his whole wall was patents, like all of his patents he's done. So he's obviously a very, very smart engineer, man. Like just smart dude. But anyways, so I ran into him randomly, total random. We were having sandwiches at this place in Bellevue, and this he pulls up, and he's in the Porsche
Okay, yeah.
Taycan,
The electric one.
electric
Yeah,
one. And I'm
yeah,
like,
electric one.
yeah, the electric one. And I'm like, whoa, man, how's that drive? And he was like, I've sold all my Porsches. This is it for me.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, dude. That's why I was like, whoa, really? It's that good? He's like, dude, it's amazing. And then he was like, but he did say he did keep a couple of his like the Porsches that he loves, right? But the other car he kept of all the cars he kept, besides that, I mean, we're talking uber wealthy guy, like he's this different stage, a different level of wealth, right? Like, but so one of the other cars he kept was a lime green Lamborghini that he had purchased. So yeah,
Is
I'm
it
like,
a Huracan?
uh,
Huracan
might have
or
been Huracan.
Aventador? Okay.
Huracan. It must have been Huracan because I don't think it was an
Huracan.
Aventador.
Okay.
Aventadors are like the next. Yeah, he didn't go that.
The
So,
next level of
yeah,
Huracan.
yeah. But like it was and so and I'm like, really, you kept the lime green Lamborghini, but and he's like, yeah, he's like, honestly, even that, like the reason like this car, it destroys everything. He's like, even Tesla. He's like, this thing destroys Tesla. He's just fantastic. So
Because it's German engineering. It's the German engineering cars. It's like German cars are just next level.
agreed. I mean, I got rid of my Mercedes to get the Y, and I mean that was a fun car. The Mercedes, and that was it's definitely it handled better. Like it had a better turning radius. It just handled better, and it was massively higher too, which is crazy. But whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I really want an E63 hatchback, which is a Mercedes, like kind of, but I found that out from F1, their safety cars, an E63 hatchback. And I'm like, damn, that's beautiful.
That is hatchbacks are like they're cool,
Yeah,
and they're
so I love Audi's hatchbacks too,
Yes,
by the way.
yes.
Like an A3 hatchback. I'm like, yes! Like I love that thing. Like I love hatchbacks. I don't know
Agreed.
why, but like Americans do not love hatchbacks.
I know,
And I'm
and
like,
it's annoying.
dude, hatchbacks is awesome.
They're
Okay.
amazing. I'm so like I had one of my favorite cars of all time, which is a jet. This was back to the WRX. I had a WRX hatchback, favorite car of all time, and they got rid of them, and I haven't. It's like it makes me so mad. Like I would buy a hatchback Subaru WRX in a heartbeat. Like if I could have one back again. Like they're just I don't know. Yeah, sorry, sadness.
So if you
Tear.
have three cars, like you have to live your life too, though. But like three cars, 150K max per car. What would you get?
Three
Well,
cars.
obviously the Tesla Y, right? Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
purpose. Yeah.
Tesla Y
Yeah,
family,
okay.
right?
That's one for
okay,
you.
perfect.
Mhm.
I would say, ooh, this is tough actually. Now I think about it. I'd have to have a truck of some sort. Like I think a truck is important. Like I think having a nice truck to be able to have just for supply reasons, right? Like just to throw crap in the back of a truck. Like once you have
Isn't
had
that what
that,
the wife's for?
I mean, yeah, I mean technically you can, but having a proper truck bed, like
Okay.
that is
like an open bed. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, like trucks, like there's something special about that. Like being able to just throw crap in the back of a truck and not have to worry about like damaging your interior or like there's just
okay.
So I'd say some sort of truck. I don't care what truck, just a truck. It's because it's a truck. And then a sports car. And so I think for the sports car, this is the hard part for me. And if you had to ask me, I would say a under 150,000. Well, I mean that's actually I can get a nice Porsche for that. I'd probably go Porsche, 2-seater Porsche, or the Z06.
That Z06 is only 95K base. You know.
I honestly, that's tough. Like I'd have a hard time choosing between the Z06 and a Porsche, to be honest. Just because I love Porsches so much. But the Z06 would probably be the prime.
Really? So okay. So Z06, the Tesla Y, and then what's your third?
A truck. The truck.
What kind of truck?
Actually, I could probably pull off the Cybertruck, right? Or like one of those electric trucks. Because who gives a rat's ass?
Oh,
you know
like
what I mean?
Rivian?
Yeah, like that, or like the
Lucid, or like
the Lucid, or whatever. Yeah, because like this is real here. Like if I have to pay, if I'm having a fossil fuel car, I want a sports car. I want something it's you know, like I want something that just goes. I don't give a rat's. Like I want something that's fun to drive and it's just go. Like
a Hummer.
A Hummer electric. Ooh, there you go. Hummer electric. There you go. Done.
You know, I was actually okay. All right, so I want my 3 cars would be Z06, like C8. That's like 95,000 base, probably like 115. 911.
Ooh, 911.
In midnight blue. I already know the specs of this 911, by the way. And probably. Did I say Hummer? Yeah, the Hummer.
Hummer,
yeah,
yeah,
the Hummer electric. I was like, I want a big ass truck where I'm like, okay, you guys could watch out for me.
Get the F out of my way.
But I also really want like an E92, like a classic E92. But those are like, you know, like less than 150K, where I could just like, you know,
just a fun to drive.
God, yeah, I love modding and like just changing things with my car. So tracking, I love it.
That's tracking. So I actually, as a kid, and I say kid, but like 18 to 20 something, I used to mod the crap out of cars. Like I love modding cars, and I had a 93 SI Honda Prelude SI, and then a 2001 SI Prelude, and so I front wheel drive. Not Civics, the Preludes. I was big on the Preludes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I mod the crap out of them because I could never get a WRX for whatever reason. I don't know why. Like I never got a WRX, but like that was like my dream car was a WRX. But I always had I had the Prelude. Anyway, and I remember just modding I had this. It was so ugly. I had this 93 SI Prelude. It was sea green. And I kept the stock rims because I wanted it to be a sleeper car. Like that was my whole thing. Was it had to be a sleeper car. And it was the ugliest car.
Okay, you were in your 20s.
Yeah, I was in my 20s. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So but I remember I put every single bolt on you can imagine. I put every single I dumped so. I mean I might as well have bought a Porsche at that point. You know what I mean? Like the amount of money I dumped into this car.
You just start and it's like a rabbit hole again. It's like a whiskey, you know? It's like the hobby of whiskey is like, once you start into bourbon or whiskey, you're over.
Yeah,
it's
you're done. Game
your
over.
Entire room is whiskey at that point. And thankfully, I
oh
don't have a kid or anything.
I mean, that's all. That's all whiskey up there. But I mean, I have a full it's not as big as your you have a collection, but you have a collection. That's no mine pales. And you have the old Fitz too. Oh, jealousy.
Yeah, you see my old pits? They're only but 8, 9,
And you have the
11,
Michters
I have a
too, man.
15. But I'm not a Michter's fans though. So
You know
they actually filtered their whiskey, and like I'm not a fan of Michter's. Michter's for me is trait bait.
Oh, actually, perfect segue. Here we go. Perfect. Ace asks, favorite cheap bourbon. I already know I might have your answer already.
I already know mine.
I already know your answer too.
Ancient 8 stars. You put that thing, like, it's a $15 bottle for $7.50. You put it into like a nice decanter. You could tell people it's a $60, $70 bottle, and you're like, oh wow, it's a Buffalo. It's like you could put it into a Blanton's bottle, and it's
no one would know. No one would know. No one will know. What's that? That's that meme. No one will know. I was gonna say like that for me, my favorite cheap bourbon. Honestly, I'm gonna go back.
$20 or below.
$20 below. Ooh, I'd say either old. I'd say I did like the Ancient Age that I heard, but that or Old Granddad.
Oh, OGD. 114. Is that the 114?
Yeah, 114. Yeah, I think it's 114. That's a good one. Then I mean, outside of that, like JTS was just too peanut forward for me to really dig on at the time. But that's another good one.
That's how I feel about like peanut forward, like Booker's. You mentioned you have Booker's 1, 2, 3.
I don't like peanut. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, Will was giving me so much crap. Will was like, you don't even like peanuts. Like, why did you collect Booker's? Like, what the?
It's like, okay, peanuts, okay, yeah, sure.
I mean, I like peanut brittle.
Good. I can taste the peanuts, but yeah, what else? Like, it's like roasted, okay.
Roasted peanuts, and there's a little salt, maybe a little salted peanut.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair. I think. Oh, you know what? I am gonna switch back. I did a nice cleanse of my. I'm gonna go back to the Japanese whiskey. I'm gonna go back to Harmony, cause.
So I actually just poured this.
Oh, the barrel bourbon.
Barrel bourbon New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Very fruity. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go somewhere easy, it's like within reach kind of thing for me.
I'm gonna grab the Benriach. 12.
Oh, okay. You're going back to Scotch.
Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. We're gonna do Abalor.
Oh, is it the Abuna?
Abunan. Just because reasons. Let's see here. So, and then we'll call this the last. How long have we been going for? Oh wow, we've been going for an hour and a half. So we're gonna call this one matured in Spanish Oloroso Sherry Butts. Abunan. And then I'll probably have. I'm sure my wife and daughter are going. Ooh, actually, this is a good cork.
Yeah, it's just like kind of thick.
Yeah. it's a little bit. It's on the.
Wait, do you have a PlayStation 5?
I do. Okay. I do. Where are you going? Where are you going with this?
Oh no, I'm just looking for a PlayStation 5 right now.
Oh.
So my game is gonna be Final Fantasy 16. That's gonna be my game in Final Fantasy, like PlayStation 5 and Gran Turismo 7.
Ooh, yeah, when Gran Turismo comes out. I pre-ordered the what's it called? The bow and arrow. Right. Yep. Horizon. Yep.
Of course. Everyone's talking Horizon.
But yeah, like so I don't know if everyone knows this, but like, so my whole right sleeve is actually is video game based. So,
okay.
You can kind of get. Hey, let's see if I can get this.
Not really. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Legend of Zelda, and with the Legend of Zelda Hearts, and then I have Firebrand from a couple of different games. Actually, it's picking my eyeballs. I have the Mushroom. I have the Final Fantasy Black Wizard. I have Metroid.
Oh shit!
I have Goomba, and then on the if I can show this, it's kind of weird. So I have a Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo.
So NES controller, and then I have on the back. You can't. It's kind of hard to see, but so that is. Oh, that's gonna populate. There you go. So that's Samus from Metroid.
Yeah. Metro,
and then I have on the back of my arm is a Ninja Gaiden, the original Ninja Gaiden, where he's standing on the cliff and it has the demon castle in the background. And then I have like Mega Man, so you can. I mean, that one's pretty easy to usually.
Mega Man.
Yeah, so I have Mega Man's like right here, and then I have Dr. Wily on the other side.
Oh, wow! Wow! Did you do that in one go or like separate?
That was a couple goes. But I'm weird. Like whenever I get tattoos, I fall asleep, so it's not the same. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the same with the dentist. If I get dentist work done, like they're drilling, like I don't know what it is. I just go out.
What the?
Yeah. I don't know why. Like it's just like it's soothing to me, and I just I pass out. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is impressive. I mean, I have like needle phobia, so like if I see needles, I would freak out. But that's really cool.
I can't stand shots. I like blood drawing. If you were to like shake my blood though, I freak out. No, I hate my blood being drawn, and I don't like getting shots. Go figure.
But tattoos are okay.
But tattoos are okay.
Yeah, okay.
People make fun of me all the time about that. Yeah. Let's see here. Sorry, man. This is the thing on top. It has this spice. The Bunat has this spice.
Yeah. It's also very sweet though. That it's like very overwhelming to the point that
there is a sweetness. There's a very strong sweetness, but there's like that upfront, like fresh spiciness to it that just compared to the other stuff, it just hits me like I think like a poof of like spice. Like you know what I'm talking about? Like if you're someone to like take a handful of spice and just throw it in your face, it's kind of, and then the rest is just all sweet. You're right.
Yeah, it's like sweet. Yeah. For me, Abuna is just not balanced. I really like Abuna Alba. It's like their bourbon cask one.
That makes sense.
It's cheaper than the Abuna, by the way.
I might have to try and grab one because I dig on this, but it's purely because of it's because of that character, like that uniqueness, right?
Yeah, it's cash strength Oloroso.
It's definitely strong though. All right.
Yep.
What? We'll do a couple random final thoughts. What do you think? So I can let you have your night. Because I mean, I don't know if it's a work day for you or not tomorrow.
Dude, it's always a work day.
Touche. See, I live the life of a faux YouTuber. So I.
That's amazing. I would love to be a faux YouTuber.
One day I'll make it. One day.
Yeah. I would like to make it. Like one day I'm like, I could talk about two people about my whiskey, like almost like as much as like love making. It's like, dude, I love like whiskey so much. As much as I love like cars and football and food. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm hoping. So I retired from the government work and then went into public sector and was like, oh, this kind of sucks. And then I'm lucky enough to have a wife that puts up with my craziness, and so that's the reason I'm even able to do this stuff. To be honest.
Yeah. I would like to give your wife a shout out. Yeah.
She's an amazing lady.
Yeah. I would like I would like that.
Yep, I just take photos and hang out and do reviews of random audio. So my main thing, I don't know if you know, my main thing is I do audio reviews of audio gear. And that's like the YouTube stuff, like my main YouTube thing. But the reason I actually started YouTube though was because of this, like what we're doing right now. Like this is what I love, like chatting with people about the things that they love. Does that make sense? Like that. Yeah. This to me like is like. Oh, like this is amazing to me. Like being able to have like long and like expose people to other people's hobbies and expose them to their passions, like that's amazing to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a salesperson and I was an engineer.
And you have a
engineer.
passion for whiskey and cars, which is amazing.
Yes, I love whiskey and cars. That's like my love language is whiskey, cars, and maybe food. Third.
Okay. Oh yeah, food. Oh god. Like the whole reason I even work out anymore is so that I can eat whatever I want on the weekends.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think Will is still here, and
Yeah,
I
Will is.
like
Yeah.
would like to like shout out like I've never really run in my life, like until
I don't know, here.
June of last year, 2020. So it's like less than a year, and I'm like, I think I've been telling you like I am running a marathon here in like 2 weeks. I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do
but,
fantastic.
like, all I know is like it's all mental.
It is mental. So I did a similar thing. Like no joke. Like I played soccer as a kid, whatever. But I've always been more of like a weightlifting and like and I did a mile here and there.
I can't tell, Tyler.
But like, so that's what always been my thing. But so there's a point in time back in 2001 to basically 2003, 2004. No, sorry, I'm mixing up my decades. 2011 to 2014. I mixed it up pretty heavily there. But booze, it's great. Mixed with ADHD. So I started running because I couldn't really lift weights for whatever reason. I ruptured my chest muscles and shoulder muscles. And then later I actually broke both my wrists. So skateboarding, I broke both my wrists. So I was like hardcore running. And then I was training for, my brother wanted me to do the Walt Disney World Goofy. And so I was training for that. And then I went, and my other friends were like, "Oh, you need to come do the Hood to Coast run in Oregon with us."
Wow.
And so I did the Hood to Coast run, which is from Mount Hood all the way to the coast. The words, they're hard. The Mount Hood to the coast of Oregon, Seaside, Oregon, and it's like 100-something mile run, and it's a relay race. So you don't do the whole thing. And I did 6 legs. No. I took over my buddy's legs because he ended up throwing up and getting sick and he couldn't do it. But I ended up doing like 2 of his legs as well. So I did like 7 to 8 legs, and that was a blast. But like you're literally in a van for 48 hours running. So if you're not running, you're sleeping in a van that's driving.
Oh my god! And it's going down right from Mount Hood to the coast.
And it was a blast. Like, but you're stinky. You're in this van full of other stinky people. It's like this totally gnarly, nasty.
It's so bad for your knees to just go down. Like running from Mount Hood to like the coast.
No joke.
I can only imagine your knees. Like it's just insane.
And then I went after that. We went and did. I did the Walt Disney World Goofy in Florida, which is a half marathon, and then you get like I think like a 6 to 8 hour break, and then you do a full marathon.
Oh shit!
Back to back, and so like, and it was insanity. And I did that with my brother, and like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that like I remember like towards the end, like. So the marathon part, right? So I remember going through Walt Disney World. So have you ever been to Walt Disney World, Florida? Not many hills. So, but there's the little bridges. You know what I'm talking about? The little bridges. You know what I'm talking about? They're like 5-10-foot bridges. Like they're like the little hoops.
But I'm sure you as a runner, it's like what the?
I remember going up these little 5-foot bridges. Like, why? Why are these so high? Why these hurt? Why?
Wow.
But yeah, but I did it. I got the cool medals, and it was a blast. But it was definitely worth it. But I mean, yeah, like it hurt. It definitely was a thing. But it was fun. It was a blast, and it's definitely worthwhile to do. At least once in your life to do a marathon. I 100% support you in this.
I mean, I would say to you a year ago, this day, I can never I could not run 3 miles. Back last year.
I don't believe you.
February 15, 2020. I was like, oh, you want me to run 10K? No. I could go to the gym, but I cannot run. But truthfully, running has been like a pretty good thing because it's like a different kind of mental challenge that you kind of have to push through push through it. Like anything else does not matter but your feet at that point and like your body moving.
Yep.
You don't really think about anything else but you at that point, and that's like I think that's the runner's high for me.
Runner's high.
And I've never experienced it until training for the marathon.
For me, whenever I went past, it was the 6th or 7th mile when my runner's high would really properly kick in, and all of a sudden, like, especially if I had music going, like, all of a sudden it was just like floating. Like, all of a sudden you're just like, and you're just going, and there's like, it's like you're like cloud 9, like you're just going.
Yeah, like you don't even, it doesn't matter like if it's like mile 7 and you go into like, and then next time you check your watch, it's like, oh, it's mile 9? Okay, all right, it's been 2 miles. Like if you tell me that, like last year, it's like, fuck you, go fuck yourself, you know?
Yeah,
like,
get out of here.
Like, okay, I get it. Like it's kind of addicting.
It is.
Like,
it's, yeah.
Anything less than 5 miles is like, oh, okay, no. That's too short. Like, sure. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah. I remember initially it was 3 miles. 3 miles was my initial one, but then it was weird how it progressed, where all of a sudden, like, it wouldn't really properly kick in until, like, that 6th, 7th mile. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So I'll have to let you know when I finish my marathon, which is February 26th in, like, 2 weeks. So awesome. I'm done with my long run because I think last weekend I did 20 miles and that's about it. And then that was miserable, by the way. This weekend I'm gonna do 10 miles and that's about it.
Nice.
Try.
Yeah. So then I did the summer thing where I peaked up and then I went down to leading up to the final marathons where I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will walk, I will crawl, but I will finish that 26.2 miles.
You will do this. I have faith in you.
Yeah. That 26.2, but yeah.
It's it's fantastic. I think you'll there is nothing like that at the end of that. Like there is properly nothing like that to get when you
I
pass
will eat
that.
Anything at that point. I'll be like, I'll eat anything.
I need water, I need food, and then in an hour or two I need booze.
It's like, I don't want anything right now, I just want to lie down.
Yeah. So true. So good.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Yeah. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, and I just want to go lay in the grass over there.
Yeah.
All right. That was fantastic. So, on that note, we'll end it on, we'll let you have a final question for myself, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll call it
All right. What's like your favorite game, like of all time, like in terms of like story, play game, and like association with like memories?
For video games? Oh, okay. This is going to be weird, but I love the Halo game. Halo.
What?
Yeah.
Halo, okay.
And the reason is
Halo series?
The original Halo, actually. The original Combat Evolved, because I have very fond, on Xbox, original Xbox, I have very fond memories of getting all my friends together, and we'd network all the Xboxes together, and we'd have this huge like house party where everyone was playing on different Xboxes and different TVs, and we'd just be drinking and eating and just playing Halo together on this like closed network. Like it was like having poker night but playing video games, if that makes sense, with all your buddies. Like, it was such a blast.
Okay. Wow.
How about you?
Okay.
How about you?
Favorite games of all time will be Final Fantasy VIII. That's just something, like, I know like people have like a love like relationship with Final Fantasy VIII, specifically 8. But 8 just came at the right time for me when I grew up. I would think I was like 14, but I think I played it like 8 times, like finished it 8 times. Completionist, 100%. Done. But then again, I'm a JRPG person. I love JRPG. So Final Fantasy VIII is like probably my most memorable game. It just came at the right time. Is it like a good game? Probably not. But like, I feel like there are like other better games. But like, truthfully, it's just like the right time.
That memory.
In terms of like characters and like stories.
It hit. Yeah,
it just hit. It just fucking hit, you know? You just hit.
100%. 100%.
Just like Halo, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, for me,
There's,
it's like, if it's, yeah.
it wasn't just the game. It was the everything around it that also kind of came into play and like.
Yes, Final Fantasy VIII for me. Truthfully, second place would probably Suikoden. I'm
Ooh,
like
Suikoden's
huge
fantastic
JRPG
game.
though. Suikoden, yeah.
Mine would be KOTOR. My second place would be KOTOR.
Shit. So it's my third one. So I play KOTOR with everyone. You know they're remaking the KOTOR, and I'm just so psyched for the new KOTOR. It's insane because I played that game like hundreds of hours.
Religious, yeah.
I love KOTOR.
Yeah. Religiously.
It's like a love story with KOTOR. And
yeah.
Suikoden, and it's like KOTOR is like, yeah. I played it on like PC though.
PC. So same here. PC, and then
yeah,
my other one, the other one that just killed me. Like if it wasn't KOTOR, Jade Empire.
Oh, Jade Empire. Okay.
Yeah, that was my other favorite one. But that was a weird one because it just died. No one really picked up on it. But anyways, that was my other two favorites. Those are my two favorites. But I have a question for you. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy. There's a split. You're either 7 and above or 7 and below.
So I like to watch people play like on Twitch.
Ooh, our boy plays. You know who I'm talking about. He plays playing Final Fantasy recently, actually.
Oh, Daikon?
Yep.
Yeah, he has like a marathon.
Yeah,
like,
he goes all the time.
And I'm like, that's insane, dude. But he actually just played the Final Fantasy 15, the one with the chibi. And I'm like, oh shit, I want to play that game because if you play that game, like if you played that like 15 and you played all the rest, it's like an homage to that one. It's like Dragon Quest. Have you played Dragon Quest?
Dragon Quest.
All day, but Dragon Quest. It's like, that's another game I could like
just
I actually
immerse
cried
yourself
in Dragon Quest 11. It's like, dude, that like mermaid stories is just like out of the world. But yeah, he's been playing 15, and like I really want to play that game.
Yes.
That's in my next one along with Gran Turismo 7 and Final Fantasy 16 when it comes out. Hopefully I could get a
PS5.
PlayStation 5 back then.
We'll have to keep an eye out. I'll let you know.
Yeah. All
right. So I'm gonna end it with one last question, and I won't distract with my ADHD. Right now for you, whiskey, both EY and just a Y. Number one recommendation for a whiskey right now.
That people could find, or
that people, just whatever, just doesn't matter. Your number one whiskey right now.
My number one whiskey. It'll be Four Roses limited edition, 2021, or a Russell's Reserve 13 that no one can find.
Oh, I want to try that so bad. It
is like beyond. It's like I've blended with a William Heavenhill, like the orange label, 12-year-old. I chose RR13, so I'm like, okay, so I guess I like turkey. But yeah, that one, Russell's Reserve 13 is my favorite.
I want to try that so bad.
I do not want to put it because its secondary is so high. It's really hard to get,
high.
But I think it's a really good whiskey.
Good stuff.
It's a really good bourbon.
I like it. I can dig it. I'd say for me personally, my favorite current recommendation, just because I've been just digging on it so much right now. It's funny, it's because we were just having it too, though. Was the Harmony. I don't know why. Yeah, it's so easy. Because it's so easy. Because it's so easy. As far as like, but
pineapple, right?
The pineapple. I did get pineapple with that one. Pineapple upside down cake. Let's do this.
Yeah, pineapple upside down cake. Heck yeah, it's like caramel, vanilla, sweetness, but there's that pineapple.
It's so good. That's my most current favorite thing right now. Would be that Harmony right now. So On that, anything you would like to share? Final thoughts in words.
Everyone should check out F1. It's coming out in like another month in terms of the 22. And also whiskey or wine could like reach out to me. But like seriously, Final Fantasy 16 is where it's gonna be at.
Speaking,
I need some PlayStation 5 hookup.
Daikon just jumped on. He just said, "Cheers, everybody." There you go. He heard us. His neck was burning. The back of his ears.
Seriously, I'm like, damn, I need that freaking game, and also like, it's just like the time, like, when am I gonna have time?
Yeah, time is the biggest factor. 100% agreed. Right now my upcoming games. Sorry, I'm gonna end it real quick. But yeah, upcoming games would be the Horizon, the new Horizon game, and then the Destiny 2's Witch Queen. That's my jams.
Okay, so can I just mention?
Yes.
Like every time I go into like Steam, if I look for like an RTS game, it's always like Destiny. I'm like, Destiny is not an RTS game.
No.
I am really into an RTS game, but Destiny is not an RTS game.
No, it's FPS.
Steam, like, it's not,
what are you doing?
But, RTS is where it's at. Everyone is PlayStation 5, unlike your gal here. I really want one so bad.
We'll keep an eye out. I'll let you know. I will 100% let you know.
Okay. No, thank you for having me, Tyler.
Thank you for joining. This is amazing. This is so much fun. I went way beyond what my expectation of time frame was too. I was like, 1 hour. We'll do 1 hour.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone, thanks for joining. And Influenskey, thank you so much. It was a blast. This was choice.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Have a good rest of your evening. And we are off